You are now listening to the iWalter Show. Real talk about nothing.
Faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive, able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. Look, up in the sky, it's a bird brain, it's a plane, it's iWalter. Yes, it's iWalter, strange visitor from another planet who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. iWalter, who can change the course of mighty rivers, bend ears with his annoying voice, and who disguised as Walter Interranti, mild-mannered janitor for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth, nonsense, and the American way. And now, another exciting episode in the adventures of iWalter.
Hey, this is iWalter.
And Matt, the music teacher guy.
Ooh. Okay, I interrupted Matt before he was really interrupted. Today is March 19th, and it is...
Patrick McGowan was born March 19th, 1928, but he's been dead, I think, since 2009.
Yeah, that's a shame, too. The great man. He did a lot of great works, whatever.
Yeah, he was a real actor.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, go ahead.
Well, he's a real actor like me.
No.
Get out of here.
Get out of here. So listen, let me, if I could,
entertain me.
Okay. Well, all right. I guess what should we talk about here? I wanted to ask you, and seriously, you don't have to put anything on for a show. I wanted to. Okay, so in the past we've made resolutions, what do I want to get done this year? And I've gotten, I don't know if you've gotten any of them done. I've gotten some of them done in to some extent, but I was thinking, okay, what do I want to get done now? I mean, if I'm finishing up with at least I'm headed towards trying to get my weight under control. By the way, you know what? I mean, I think I've lost about 34 pounds since I started on February 1st or 2nd. And, so that's good. And that's a good start. But I don't want to rest on my laurels or stop. I got to keep going. But I figured okay, so if I went to them at about 290 pounds, I think that the classification was obese. Okay. Yeah. But so now I'm 250 something, and I'm still obese. I would have thought I would have been overweight now. I mean, when do I get to be just overweight?
Well, what is actually the weight you should be for your height and age? And I think it goes by.
Well, I don't know about age. I guess that factors in. Yeah, it probably does. But I think being about 6'2", really, you shouldn't be much above, if at all, above 200.
Really?
Now, I would be happy with 205. And the mistake I made before was when I did get to about 205, I wanted to keep going. And instead of just maintaining that, I got sort of discouraged because when you get to about where you need to be, your body doesn't want to take it off anymore.
Yeah.
And I stupidly thought, oh, well, I'll just make it up with exercise now. Now, I said, okay, I'll keep eating like I was before, but that didn't happen.
No.
Counting adding up your points, counting your protein, carbs, fat, fiber. So I don't know. I'm just saying that one of the things I wanted to do was try to, and I think too the fact that now I can actually kind of, in a very rudimentary, basic way, I can make my own food. I mean, not make my own food really. I go to the store and I buy a piece of salmon like I did today, or a piece of beef, or a piece of chicken. I actually, not that this is rocket science, but I actually know how to put it in a skillet and cook it enough to be cooked and I can eat it. And that I think was a big key to actually getting control of your weight, because before, when I couldn't even do that, it was buying either fast food or convenience food isn't good for you. You know what I mean? I mean, unless you just go to Wawa and buy carrots and celery. I mean, that's convenient. I would do that sometimes. But so one of the things, and this wasn't a New Year's resolution of mine, but one of the things that I'm happy about is that I actually can kind of cook cook for myself now a little bit, and I want to do more of that in the future. I want to take like a cooking class this year, so I'm going to look into that in the latter half of the year after this semester is over. Like where is there like adult continuing education cooking classes? So I want to do that. So anyway, but I was thinking, what are some of the other things I want to try to get done now that I got I don't know if I told you, I got my credit rating back up to excellent.
I did hear that. I apologize.
Yeah, no. So that's good. And there's other things I need to do. But so one of the things was I want to have a system where I can easily make music using the computer. So what I started thinking is, just to be on the safe side, I wouldn't mind. I'll pay for this, but maybe it's seeking out somebody's help who knows more than I do. And I was talking to a guy today. It's down in South Philly. He seems to be pretty knowledgeable. And I called a couple other places too. One of them was closed. There was a place up in Montgomeryville that I actually drove by today. I wanted to see where they were located. Guys who know their IT stuff, specifically software geared towards recording music, because I want to like get into a situation where I can easily record what I'm hoping will be good sounding things, songs or bits of music, pieces, something that and if I can do that, I'd like to join. I don't know if I told you about the website taxi.com. You know what that is?
No, that I'm not familiar with.
Well, I almost joined, but I put it off because it's something like $200 or $300 a year. But what apparently, you can put your music on there, and that's actually a site that might actually get your music placed in like a real TV show or a real movie. Now, it's not going to be somebody like. It's not going to be like in a Tim Burton film because he already has Danny Elfman, or it's not going to be, but something like a little bit minor. Like I think the guy that teaches my jazz history class got his song, which was a good song, placed in a sort of a amateur movie that they made in Jersey. Now the song is good. The problem is the movie is not very good at all. Though they did get like some guy. One or two guys that were actually in The Sopranos, like not name guys, like you wouldn't know their names, I don't think, but you would know them to see them.
Oh yeah,
and the movie is awful, but his song is in there, and the only problem is, of course, he didn't get paid for it because it was some weird catch where it was something like, well, this film is on the film festival circuit as an amateur production, so therefore we don't have to pay you for your music. So I'm not gonna I'm gonna try to eschew any situations like that. But anyway, the point is I wanted to try taxi.com, once I have a couple of things that might actually be worthwhile, and maybe the fact that I'm paying $300 a year for a subscription here would motivate me to keep trying to make some music. But anyway, the point is I want to get a system where I can easily, and I was thinking that maybe I should have, because people told me you should have just a computer just for music production so it doesn't get weighed down with anything else. But then again, the guy I was talking to down in Philly today, he said, I told him what computer I had, and he said, look, the RAM doesn't matter, you can always add more.
Of course.
The hard drive doesn't matter, you can always add more. It's the processor, and I told him what the processor is in the computer. That was actually the computer you pretty much told me to get, and it was the HP. It had like an i5, is that what's called?
An i5.
And the guy was like, hey, that's pretty good.
It is. Now, there's different versions now, updated versions of the i5, the i7 processor chips. Like you probably have an older one, obviously, at this point.
Yeah, what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to do something where the computer doesn't crash or run slow because I'm also, surfing the web and looking at insalubrious pictures and videos, if you know what I'm saying. But he said that doesn't make any difference. It's you should run fine. Just because you're also online, that takes up bandwidth and electricity, but it doesn't take up. I don't know. Let me ask you this question: how bad is it that I leave my computer on for almost all the time?
At work, we leave our laptops and our computers on all the time. Me, I used to. I don't do it as much anymore.
But is it bad for it?
Not necessarily. I
don't know. Maybe I'm superstitious or I don't know what I'm talking about, but I almost feel like sometimes the computer takes a while to do things, and sometimes it needs to be turned off for a while.
Yeah, it does. Now, sometimes, honestly, from you shutting it down and just booting it up is probably more stressful than just leaving it on.
Really?
Yeah. There's a lifespan on the equipment, but still, that's pretty long. Now, stepping back 1 minute, Matt, you mentioned that RAM you can put as much as you want. It all depends on what kind of computer system you have and what the motherboard can handle. So,
Well, I think what I have now is about 6 gigs, which isn't really a lot. It's okay, but it's not a lot, right?
Normally nowadays, like I think even this came with about 6 gigs right off the bat.
Okay.
But then now certain motherboards allow you up to 12 gigs. My Mac here, actually, I have, I think, 24 gigs of RAM. Or
Well, here,
32.
I was looking at those computers I was telling you about. How were you pronouncing them, by the way? It's Lenovo. What were you saying?
You know,
I think you were saying like Levino or something.
Oh, yeah, but they're IBM.
Yeah, I didn't know that. But anyway.
Yeah.
So I was looking at some of those, and, I was looking at them on Amazon, and, they go anywhere from, 4 gigabyte RAM up to, I looked up to 16, and, you pay a little bit more for that.
Oh, yeah.
But even that was like, listen, I just got my taxes done, I told you, on Friday, and I spent an obscene amount of money, all justified deductions, but I spent a lot of money last year. I bought like a $700 guitar. There was all kinds of books and sheet music. It was just thousands and thousands of dollars that I spent on the business. So I'm thinking, and I don't think I'll be doing that this year because I got a lot of the stuff I needed last year, so I'm not going to be spending that much this year.
Sure.
So, I can afford between $500 and $600 for a new. But again, I don't know. So I'm torn on what to do because on the one hand, it would seem like, hey, it'd be great to have a computer just for music, and then not that much could go wrong with it because it doesn't have all this other stuff to do. But then again, the guy that I called down in South Philly was like, it doesn't. You ought to use the computer that you have. It's not that big. So I don't know what to do.
I use 2 computers sometimes. Like right now, I'm using 2. I use one just but this is different. I use one for stories and then one just for my audio editing or whatever you want to call it, because otherwise it does kind of get a little bit bogged down.
Of course, you said that your computer shut down or crashed or whatever last night anyway, and the only thing you were using it for, I think, was for
Audacity.
Yeah, Audacity.
Now, I could have been, honestly, I think it was an Audacity problem. Once in a while. Hasn't happened in a long time, but it does run into problems.
Yeah, I'm not, I don't know. Maybe it's me. I've never been a fan of Audacity. Maybe the version I had that was free, maybe I didn't know how to use it, or maybe, you couldn't do much because it was the free version. They want to give you like a little bit of the free version to try to get you to buy the real thing, but I've bought other kinds. I think there's a company I like. I think they're Australian or something called NCH. And I bought some of their stuff, whether it be stuff that will convert something to a PDF or something that will just sort of fix up a sound file by bringing up the levels to where they should be or converting it to an MP3 from any other form. So, I bought that stuff, and that stuff has always been really good. Anyway, I guess I'm just trying to think out loud here and say, should I... And, I'll get more opinions than just the one guy in South Philly, but, and I'm thinking, because in a way it would almost be like starting from scratch and starting over and say, look, I got a new computer. I would go to somebody who knows this stuff. Here's this new computer. Here's all my software. Could just put it on here, make sure everything's talking to each other the right way and working, and then... so anyway, that's sort of my New Year's resolution, or what I want to get done, preferably by the fall. Just because I've been saying for years that I don't know, since probably the late '90s or the early new millennium. Like, hey, I really want to make sure I can get all this stuff together so I can record music on the computer. It's so much easier these days to sound, good, and you still have to have good ideas and all that, but the sounds are much better than the old days with the awful Tascam 4-track. You remember you and Joe Latito trying to record I Hate Norristown or whatnot back in 1991 or 2 or something like that. So, I don't know. So, do you think I should stick with the computer I have now, or maybe spend in between 5 and 6 and get something just for making music on it?
Now, if you do that for 5 or 6, you're going to get something probably... Now, that was the other thing.
Desktop, not okay. Laptop. I don't know why, other than it sounds stupid, but I just almost don't believe that, I don't know. I have a weird feeling as if the laptop is under these space constraints that how good can it be with hardly anything to it? You know what I mean? Almost I have this weird, maybe it's stupid, but you feel like with a tower, I don't know. You feel like there's something more substantial to it. I don't know. It's probably a superstition or something. But
Well, some of your cheaper computers, honestly, that they put in the tower, the actual motherboard is the same one they probably would have put in the laptop. In fact, they even use a laptop power cord.
yeah,
The little power brick you get on your laptops. Same one they use on the PC when you get the dirt cheap ones.
yeah. So maybe it doesn't make any difference anyway. I don't know. I'm sure that there's a lot of like I said, almost superstitiously thinking that this might be better than that when really the reality is not really.
Now, the more money you spend, if you get a better tower, you're going to be able to upgrade it. You'll be able to upgrade if you need it to, because that actually helps on your speed or your performance on your PC as a good graphics card, because they're going to put a cheap one there most likely.
Well, if do I need a good graphics card? Because I don't know if I told you this. Have you ever been to that place? It's on 309. It's kind of over near. Remember that restaurant Perkins that was there for a while?
Oh, yeah.
Right a couple of stones throw from there is some like dirty looking custom built PC store. I went in there, the guy's Korean or something like that, and some other guy was there hanging out who wasn't really working there. It was just a customer who was an interesting character. It's one of those stores it looks like a dirt store with some interesting characters in there. But I went in there today and I was asking the guy, and I was like, well, I tried telling him what I want to do here, and should I have you build a computer? Should I buy a new one just for music? And he seemed to think that it was the sound card that is the important thing. Like, why would a graphics card matter that much too? I'm not playing video games here.
Exactly.
I'm just using software to record with.
Well, it used to be in the past, Matt, with the older operating systems, that everything could get away with just working on what they call the CPU, the central processing unit.
Yeah.
Your if it's Intel or AMD. But as the desktop became more pretty looking, whatever you want to call it, then that kind of played a part with the graphics card as well, because with the OS being a little bit more. They call it GUI. It's more intense looking.
Or what?
They used to call your desktop as technically was called a GUI back in the day.
Oh.
If I remember correctly. That's like a Unix thing or something. So, but now it's more graphically intense. Having a good GPU, which is your graphics processing unit. It actually. It's not a big deal. You can get away with a decent one, but it will kind of boost your performance since it's getting taken away. Some of your CPU would generally be taken away from your desktop.
Oh, now I get it. Okay. Then that makes some sense. I don't know. I just got to figure out.
The guy's right about the audio card too. Audio cards can cost a lot of money too.
Yeah, he said that it could be. Well, how much can they be? I mean, $1,000.
Possibly depends what kind of graphics card, audio card you get. I mean, you can get sound card. You can get some for like $50. That's your general one.
Oh yeah.
You can get some for like $100, $200. They have all different brands depending on what you want to use. Creative is the popular one for home use.
Yeah.
They actually make some more professional ones too.
Well, again, I got to figure out what to do here. I'll talk to a few different people. I got a phone call into that place in Montgomeryville that I was talking about, who seemed like. I mean, I didn't talk to anybody. I just left a message, but I looked them up on Yelp or something, and they seem like they might know what they're talking about. Of course, in the very immediate, we're talking weeks and months, I actually have to build up my savings a little bit, because I don't know about what's going on with you, but I just got hit with tons of things like, the bill for getting my taxes prepared is $750. Now, I wrote the check, but they didn't cash it yet. They will soon, any day now.
Yeah.
Getting my fractured tooth fixed, first for the first visit to figure out what the problem was, and then actually fixing it. That was a total of $300. I told you about the brakes. I needed new brakes on the car. That was just under $400. What else? I feel like there was something else recently. But so I've been getting. And then I'm going to owe $1,100 in taxes to the Fed. So that's so everything kind of happening all at once here, and it's good that we're a little bit late in March, because it'll really help in another, I guess, less than a week that, the checks will start rolling in for my customers and all that. So that'll definitely help. But, yeah, so I just been getting inundated with bills lately, and it'll be a heck of a lot better now that hopefully there's I can't think of any more big unforeseen bills happening. anytime soon, I hope. So, like I said, I'm not really in a position anyway this week or even maybe this month to spend a lot of money on buying a new computer, but maybe in like a month or two or something like that. So anyway, so that's what I want to get done this year, and I'll have one more semester of Montco, I think, and I want to get that wrapped up cleanly and fine with that. So that's what I'm kind of focusing on this year.
Sure. Now,
what are you focusing on this year?
I'm focusing on nothing. No, I'm just kidding. Hey, by the way, I think that's pretty good. Now, did you pay any taxes during the course of the year?
No. There was a lot of money that came in, but so much of it was spent on the business, whether it be, like $33,000 was paid out to the people that work for me.
Yeah.
The mileage for the gas was something like $15,000 right there. And then there was just tons and tons of things I bought for the business. So on the one hand, hey, it's great I was able to buy all this stuff for the business. But on the other hand, if I wanted to buy a house, I don't think they would look fondly on, well, you had a good amount of money coming in, except you spent it all on the business. So you don't really have much left over. So I don't know. I got to find. I guess I just have to put more money away and save. And you always think that, well, eventually I have to get to a point where I don't have to buy any more stuff.
Yeah, it never happens.
Well, I don't know. It doesn't seem to. But anyway,
that's pretty good. If you owe $1,100, that's actually not that bad for the year.
No,
paying taxes.
Yeah. I don't know. And what I've been doing a lot since, I guess, August and September, is paying off my credit card debt from the vacations and the software that I did buy that was pretty seriously expensive, and now I got it down to, I think my credit card bill is less than what I have left owed on the car. So
that part's good.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned about vacation. The thing is, though,
am I going to do it again?
Yeah. Well, I guess if you want to take a vacation,
it's going to be relatively modest. For example, one of my students' parents was telling me about Spring Lake, New Jersey. So that's somewhere I would drive to. I wouldn't have to fly to. So maybe this summer I'll do 2 relatively modest getaways. One will be Spring Lake, New Jersey, and any surrounding areas around that, and maybe somewhere else would be, I don't know. Where else would I go?
Well, actually, there was that. Was it you and Monty? You went to that guitar factory or something? That was driving distance that one time.
Yeah, but we were there like a day. So
yeah, well, that's true. There might be other, day trips, or maybe you can make it longer. Some places around not too far.
I've been to the Poconos since probably like 1983. Maybe I wouldn't know what to do up there, but maybe that would be something to do. So yeah, I do want time off, and yeah, I do need to have, and I'd like to have more than just 1 week this summer. Maybe I'd like to go for like 2 different ones if possible.
Oh, yeah.
Of just having no students, nothing to do. That freedom of I can make it up today as I get up and figure out what I want to do. But yeah, but it shouldn't just be a staycation at home. I don't think it should actually be
getting away.
Changing the scenery.
Now, you mentioned, I'm sorry I forgot about that. You were off all week. From school, not from work, but from school too.
Yeah, that made it a little bit better, but truthfully, there was, stuff like worried about getting the taxes done, getting my tooth fixed, getting the car thing done. Believe it or not, what's a pain is occasionally I have to go into the place that I'm doing the weight loss thing just to get, measured and make sure that the body water is high and the fat's coming down and all those indexes that you do that somehow I'm skeptical, but they can read by standing barefoot on their special little glass scale.
Yeah.
And I tried going to see them. I had to keep moving them around because of the other things I had to do, and I tried seeing them in Downingtown. I couldn't find the place. I was already down there, and that was a waste of a day. I wish I had. And then I wound up going like 2 days later to the normal place that I knew where it was in Wayne. So anyway, I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I guess I'm just telling you like what my plans are for this year. Just, and nothing, extravagantly unrealistic. Just things that I want to get accomplished just to move me a little closer to, I don't know, being in some kind of a slightly better situation. And there's probably stuff with the business too, like try to hire a couple more people, or try to set up a website to sell a couple of things that I created that would be helpful to music students. So, anyway. But I'm still haven't heard what you plan on doing this year. And be honest. Don't just say nothing. And don't say going to more meet and greets at WizardCon and paying a few $100s to stand next to some actor or actress for 30 seconds and get your picture taken with them.
That actually might be the case, though, honestly, at this point.
Yeah?
But, yeah.
Well, tell me then. Tell me that.
Actually, next...
Hold on. I have to take a swallow.
Uh-oh. Swallow. Gale swallows.
Gale swallows?
It was from that one... I can't remember when it was comedy movies. Like, Something About Mary, I think it was called.
Oh.
There was a guy that was kind of autistic or something, and I forget. I think she swallows something, and the guy repeats her. He's, like, autistic.
Oh. Okay.
It's, there's goofy movies.
I mean, I saw that movie, but I don't remember that.
I thought it was that one. It might have been a different one. It was one of those type of films.
Like a Farrelly brother movie.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Exactly.
Anyway, go ahead. You were saying.
Well, now next week, it's hard to believe for us, you and I.
What concert are you going to? I thought I heard you talking about some concert.
Yeah, it was that one that you didn't want to go to. It's the one down in the Trocadero it's called Crybaby, but I can't remember the musician's name.
It's some young girl, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Of course. Why would I have an old one? I'm just kidding.
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm joking. But it is. It's down Troc. It was sold out. Not that it's a big deal. And I totally forgot, actually, because another one of these things that's not important, but next week on Thursday is not your cup of tea, but it's Batman versus Superman.
Oh, okay.
So I bought a ticket because I thought I was going to be out of work still for Thursday. Came back to work. I had to go to Fandango and change my ticket out for Saturday. And it was like, wait a minute, I'm going to a concert. So I had to change it again. I changed it for Friday afternoon to go see it. But, that's the highlight of my this weekend. I'll have that. But the thing is, for us Christians, you and I, we have where we celebrate Easter.
Holy Week, yeah.
Holy Week. So other than that, yeah, it probably will be this year. Just going. My mother wants to get away now next month or something down the shore and everything like that, but they're not sure where they're going. Sometimes I go with them. I don't know because I've been off for 6 months, so I don't know if I'll be.
You know what I want to do? I don't know why. It's probably not a big deal. Only because I've never done it, and it always seemed like it was too expensive. But it can't be that expensive. I'd stay at the Port of Call. You stayed there before, right?
We did, actually. We did it through Hagee Tours. They had one time that you...
How much a night is that? Like $140 a night? Is that?
Possibly. Now, they're the most expensive. The one I stayed at, that I can't remember the name of it, it's actually closer to the boardwalk.
So you didn't stay at Port of Call? You stayed at something else?
I stayed the one time with my parents at Port of Call. We had that trip set up through Hagee.
Okay.
But honestly, for a single person, you don't need anything, just a place to sleep. It's not too bad. Ocean View, I think it was called.
Okay.
That's actually right on the boardwalk, like right when you start walking.
Yeah, that's something I'd like to do, just for the heck of it. Not that it's a big deal, but we never could afford, or we didn't want to spend the money to do that when we used to go down to the shore. So
no.
just for the heck of it, just to do it. I don't know.
Well, Ocean View is actually cheaper, if that's the right name.
How much did you spend for that?
I think it was like under $100, about $100, and during the heart of the summer, it's like 120, maybe.
Well, I'm thinking, like, if I booked it now,
yeah, you can. Yeah.
Would it be cheaper to book it now rather than in the second week of July or something?
Oh, yeah. And actually, I think when I had this problem before, I usually go through Expedia or Hotels.com. The guy said, and I've heard this before, if you go right through the place,
yeah,
they're going to give you a better deal.
Well, yeah, because you're cutting out the middleman. Why would you? Because listen, I've done that before too. I've probably, instead of just buying the plane ticket right from the place, I probably went to like Cheap Air or something like that.
Yeah.
Which probably wasn't the best thing to do,
Sometimes it can be not too bad just to have a ticket. And sometimes, like, when I was setting up a room for Philadelphia for this test I was going to take, the hotel or motel, the place I was going to stay was sold out down in Philly already.
Yeah.
But I went through Hotels.com, and apparently they still have certain rooms that are reserved for, these places. They hold certain rooms.
Yeah.
So even if a hotel's sold out, you can go through. Then you have to go through a third-party company, even though it's going to be a little bit more expensive. Now, the place I mentioned, Ocean View, I remember when I went down there, spent a couple nights. I went to that over Atlantic City Madonna concert, but I didn't want to stay in Atlantic City. I hate that.
No.
So, but Ocean View, the guy, I think he only charged me, I think one night he charged me like $50 for the room. He says, you know what, I'll give you a cut rate. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
So, yeah, some good deals.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't want to talk politics, except I will say that the shenanigans in Arizona it's like I'm being made more enthusiastic about voting for Trump. I don't know if he's going to wind up being the guy, but the more these people do their nonsense, the more it's making me want to vote for him. So let me just leave it at that.
Okay.
Could you? I want you to read a couple stories, and I want to be there to step in to help with any words or anything else.
Honestly, I don't know if I have any stories actually up. I can look.
Just look for something about, some, even if it's some female teacher that was molesting her male student, or it was some example of adults acting like children, dangerously irresponsible, something.
That wouldn't be that hard. Now, obviously, today when I put up a couple stories earlier today, not that I was going to use those, we're all on the Trump thing that you just had mentioned, I guess, I assume.
Well, try something else. Don't you go to, like, the Dreamin' Demon or something like that?
Actually, I do. Now, one thing on a side note, when you were saying about vacations, you know what would be really cool to do, I think?
Yeah.
Because I've never done that, is you always hear about, like, because we have these in Pennsylvania. Burp. Is, when you do those those caves, like you actually do those tours through the caves and stuff, I think, what do they call? There's ones, I think, around Kutztown, I guess, right?
Is that Crystal Cave?
I thought that's
Crystal
what
Cavern, something like that?
Yeah, I mean, that sounds pretty cool. I think Monty might have done stuff like that before.
I did 2 caves in South Dakota 2 years, or almost 2 years ago. I did Wind Cave, and there was another one, and it's I gotta admit, I freaked out on the second one, because what they do is they go, let's give you an idea of how dark it really is 200 feet below the surface, and they turn the lights out. And on the first one, I was fine.
Yeah.
But the second one, I lost my shit, and I was like, hey, what was her name? Whitney, I think was the tour guy's name. Could you put your flashlight back on, because I'm kind of wigging out here, and I think that was disappointing to the other people who wanted to sit there in the darkness. But that's kind of scary. I don't know, being 200 feet below the surface, and it is totally dark down there. I mean, obviously, because no light can get down there, and it was a very sort of claustrophobic feeling. But I don't know, if you've never done that and you want to do it, you should try it sometime.
I'm kind of curious now. Actually, what kind of made me think of that too was I mentioned this on one of the podcasts. I watched this movie, As Above Is Below, or whatever.
As Above, So Below?
So Below. Yeah, they did a lot of, like, going down these, like, not even just caverns, but there were also those things in France.
Of course, you're probably not like this, but the people who really love spelunking would probably get most turned on at the notion that maybe they're exploring a cave that hasn't been explored yet, but that's very dangerous.
Of course.
I've seen people, not personally, but on documentaries, that were killed because they were exploring a cave, and I didn't realize that coming around the corner was like some 100-foot drop. There was no floor there for a while, and they fell down there. So obviously, you just want to do stuff that's already been well charted and like a tour that people have been through.
Absolutely, because I'm kind of claustrophobic. When I watch these films and I see that stuff, I know that stuff's made up too. They're not really in those kind of cases.
Well, I would have thought the movie I guess there's a bunch, but did you see The Descent?
That one actually made me very claustrophobic, especially when they were going down those really tight squeeze places.
Yeah.
The film I just mentioned actually was even worse. That Matt, I was watching. I had to get up a few times and almost walk out of the room because I was actually ready to pass out.
I was just thinking about that scene you were talking about in The Descent, where the girls were trying to squeeze through that really narrow place, and I even got just a little bit lost my breath for a second. So yeah, I don't like that. There's something about being trapped underground. It's almost like that's worse than being in some dangerous situation like above ground. I'll take a dangerous situation above ground more than below ground.
Oh, I agree. Well, like there's one particular part in that film where this one guy they were touring this dwelling, he got stuck. And I mean, it was so tight, and they were trying to squeeze him out. And again, I felt like I couldn't breathe. Like my chest was really killing me.
Yeah, I'm not crazy. I got to say, I'm not crazy about that. I mean, there's, there's other things that are a little unnerving, but I can get through. But that is one I would probably stay away from. But anyway, let's find something for you to read.
Alrighty. And maybe even see it.
Okay.
See, that one's CNBC International. That's a new thing, too, is I guess they're making artificial or robots that look so human-like. That's pretty wild.
Yeah, I don't actually know what they're actually doing in the real world. All I know is I've been seeing like movies like Her and AI.
Yeah.
But then again, I don't know what that was really based on. Anyway, go ahead.
Actually, maybe just for the heck of it. It's probably more... I have the sound turned off if it opens up. Oh, okay. Some of the stuff's actually interesting. Not even with that one, but some of the prosthetics or whatever you call for people that are amputees or something. They're coming up. Yeah, they're coming up with things. You know what the big thing is? Actually, on a side note, well, not reading the story, it's really interesting. I always thought that would be a total waste of money, was those 3D laser printers you buy, or not laser, no, 3D printers or whatever you call them.
Yeah, they actually can make like real matter or something, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Now, at first it was like, okay, the stuff they show you, were making trinkets, like toy TARDISes or goofy stuff. But people used it to make limbs for children and other things. It was like, oh my God, I guess as long as you have the imagination to come up with this stuff, you can actually make useful tools out of those printers. Those printers. It's amazing what you can do with those. Yeah. I thought that was pretty cool. Wish I could explain this one. There's a thing I put up, somebody else had up, and it says video. Of course, you can't see it because it's radio, but it's a blind guy driving a car and doing other stuff. yeah. So
that actually does come off funny.
Oh yeah. So I wish I was a better way to explain it, but
it's a guy driving a car with a
walking
cane out the window, and he's like, of course,
driving all over the road,
driving all over the place.
Yeah, and then he's going up the wrong side of an elevator. It was pretty funny. I saw it earlier. It was like, yeah, that's classic. Most of this stuff comes from Europe, I guess.
So, judging or listening to your show recently, I'm struck by two things. I'm thinking, and I shouldn't be lobbying one way or the other, but how do I say this? So lately, you're not real happy with your friend from Lancaster because he was maybe not. I think what makes you angry is if somebody doesn't return your calls or pick up the phone, and you get the sense that it's because they're watching TV or something, or sports or something else not important. And also, like, if they don't sort of like reflect back on you something you said to them, like they want to tell you something, and you give them some feedback on it, but then you want to tell them something, and then they just ignore it and act like you didn't say anything, and that's understandable, by the way. I'm not, it's not like that's perfectly understandable. So, but then there was also an issue, I think, where somebody was expecting you to come help him move out of his apartment or something.
That's
like that,
actually
right?
the same person too.
Well, no, I know. No, I know that. I was just trying not to let on.
No,
but I mean, well, that would have been. That's a little bit too much to presume, unless, well, first of all, you're back at work now, so I don't know that you really have the time for that. Unless was it going to be on a weekend? Is that what it was?
I don't know. I assume it'd be the weekend, but even that's kind of tough,
And also, I mean, like if I was going to ask a friend to do that, I would say something like, "I'll pay you," or "I'll buy you dinner," or "We'll go somewhere kind of nice for dinner, and I'll pay for it." So, was there that promised?
I'm sure that he would. He said like for other people, he would ask to help him move. He said he was going to give him like a generous amount of money. Which, what is that? $2, and that was getting.
Well, I don't know what is a generous amount of money.
I would assume like I'll take a guess, $50, $100. I don't know.
Well, that's generous if it only takes like 2 hours to do it. But what if it takes like 10 hours to do it?
That's the thing, because now he's traveling. I mean, for me alone, it would take me about a little over an hour to go to his apartment he's in now.
That's another thing, too. It's not exactly right around the corner.
No. And then it's another 2-3 hours to his new place. location where he's going to move.
Is that for the job, like another job there?
Yeah. It's
Okay.
past Wilkes-Barre. From Wilkes-Barre, which is pretty far for us, it's like about 2 hours, I think.
So wait, it's kind of back in the old neighborhood again?
Yeah,
Sort
but
of.
an hour further away
Even farther than Wilkes-Barre.
Yeah, so it would be like 3 hours.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's not fun. It's even 3 hours for him from Lancaster, so, yeah. That was funny because I know...
But we're safe talking about this because he doesn't bother listening
No,
to your
he
podcast.
doesn't.
Okay.
Hey, I can't even get the people like Ryan to listen. I was kidding. Or Monty. Just kidding.
Yeah. Or Dave.
Or Dave. Dave's too busy.
Yeah.
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 But, yeah, it was funny because, I mean, it was funny hearing it from the other side of him complaining about the same stuff I do, but to an extreme extent of that he's obsessed with this.
Well, I hate to say
neighbor.
this. Maybe I'm overly judgmental, but when I hear either one of you guys, I didn't hear him directly. I just heard him through you.
Yeah.
I mean, look, if there's if there's somebody that lives near you who looks like they don't want to be bothered with you, okay, then forget them. You know what I mean? What are you going to do? You're going to what's the point of? You're going to yell at them on your last day there? What's that going to do? And if they don't want to be bothered with you, you can't. It probably has more to do with them, which usually it is. I mean, remember this stuff. It has more to do with the person who's in a bad way. I'm almost thinking of that scene at the end of Ferris Bueller's Day Off with Charlie Sheen and Jennifer Grey. Your problem is you. So, and like I said, I'm tempted a little bit to feel. I don't know. With the female thing, I've always, maybe might be a low self-esteem thing, but I figure if they don't want to bother with me, then there's nothing I can do about it, so just forget it. On other subjects, I've been tempted to sometimes be a little bit irritated about grade inflation with other students who really don't do anything. It's funny, we had to write a paper for one of my music history classes, and we all put our papers in. Not to say that mine was the greatest, it was okay probably, but I saw the first few sentences of one of the kids' papers in there, and it was like, it was talk about, it was really how to say nothing in like 3 pages of just like sentences that just pretty much didn't say anything.
That's pretty funny because I remember when I was taking English, not that I still do it, but, if I did something like that, I'd be, well, this is too wordy or something.
Yeah, but like we were supposed to compare like some composers, and I think the paper started off with, so-and-so, so-and-so, and so-and-so have a lot in common, much more than many people would know. It's like you're just trying to inflate it with words. But I don't know. But when I was listening to you talk about some weird neighbor who, looks like she's hiding from the world and whatnot, I don't know. Like, did you feel like I'm always saying to you, like, okay, well, why don't become obsessed with this? It's a little much to be feeding into it and to be so overly concerned about that. Did you feel that way too? Like when you had to listen to him, was he telling you about this live, or was it like on a voicemail?
It was like 4 voicemails on the same topic.
That's one of them maybe.
Yeah,
but
no, it was more than one.
All of these.
Yeah.
Well, didn't you? Did you say? Did you say to yourself, well, gee, do I sound like this too? Because this is a bit much.
It was in the back of my mind. Yeah, it sounded like it. That's why I even said that on the podcast. It did sound like me, but it's funny because I think when I lived in an apartment, honestly, I don't even know who my neighbors were really until one actually became a friend of mine by going out of his way to like talk to me. But otherwise, I wouldn't even know who my neighbors were. I could care less. So for him, I guess that's just being by himself, really being by himself, that he's bored and he obsesses about things like that.
And is when somebody is not paying attention to you, it's like it's a little bit immature. If somebody's not paying attention to you, that I need to, she has to pay attention to me. She has to recognize my existence. I mean,
I know.
What about him? Does he go out of his way to be? Maybe it could be very well that he's also not doing. Remember what a lot of guys like you, me, and him probably have in common is that like we don't want to put ourselves out there. We want to wait. We want everybody to come to us and whatnot. But that's not going to happen, especially with female.
That's true. I think he's a little bit more. I don't want to use the word aggressive, but he will make it noted, I guess, so to speak,
okay,
about women. Now, the one thing that's funny in certain places, and her talk about this one or another one. Oh, this boss, I would, she's pretty hot looking. It's like everyone. I mean, I might. I don't think I do it that much. The funny thing was actually, Matt, one time it was a little embarrassing. I still remember this. We're in Walmart. I forget which one it was. Not one around here. It was elsewhere. And he's in there, and he's like, "Oh yeah, there's this really hot looking girl," and the woman looked average. She was getting like diapers for her kid,
right?
And he was actually trying to figure out a way without getting caught taking pictures of her butt. And I'm looking, it was like...
Was it a good butt?
No. It wasn't even a good-looking one. There's some really... I don't know how to say this. There was some very attractive Hispanic women.
Right.
She was like probably about not even average.
Okay.
And he was like... drooling over, and it was
he must have been in a sort of mood, if
heat.
You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly.
Well, the problem was the way he was like kind of almost, was like kind of stalking. I wouldn't even go that far. I mean, I don't even get that obsessed over. I mean, I do, but he was even worse, if that's possible.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
That's just, I guess, loneliness. I don't know.
Yeah, everyone, especially, a mood strikes every once in a while, like you said, that it's you're more, I don't know.
See, the thing is with, I can't speak for you, but I think for you and I, we won't approach a woman. We'll just keep that in, well, at least for me then. Keep the image in my head, and I'll just deal with it in my own terms.
Well, I always assume, and wrongly, because I'm assuming something that I don't know for a fact, but I do tend to assume that, well, that they don't want to be bothered, especially if they're attractive, and they probably are frequently bothered by other people. So my feeling was always like, well, why do I really? How's it going to be just to be another guy
hitting on them?
Yeah, for begging for attention from her. They probably, like I said, if I'm. If it's a woman that's attractive, probably odds are they're going to have a lot of attention already, and I don't want to be just another guy. But of course, the problem is, well, then you're not going to get anywhere because you don't even try. But so I don't want to. My last thing I want to do is sort of bother anybody, especially people I don't know. Anyway, let's read something from here, something non-Trump and not the blind guy driving a car and walking the wrong way on the escalator.
What about that Cure song that says, "Give me your hand," says the blind man kissing my head?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Do you never heard that song, Strange Days? Just Strange Day.
No, what album is that on?
I want to say Pornography. Maybe something to do.
Well, what we could do?
Yes.
We could play Name That Tune, because I bought an instrument.
Oh, hey, that works.
Are you ready?
No, but I'm ready.
All right, tell me, let's just try to name this tune.
See, Strange Day. It's a great song, by the way. It's one of my favorite songs.
I can't remember if I have that album or not. I might have 17 Seconds.
Actually, wait a minute. Maybe it was 17. I get them confused because I thought I just saw... I would say that was Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star.
You are correct, and the crowd goes wild.
Yes, and it was Strange Day. Yes.
Okay. Now let's name...
Sorry about that. Give me your eyes so I might see the blind man kissing my hands. Great song, by the way. The lyrics are a little bit weird, but great song. It's the way I gather with that song, it was probably like the Brighton Beach or something like that.
I don't know. Hold on. Let's do another Name That Tune. Are you ready?
Name That Toonie. Mary Had a Little Lamb.
And you're correct again. Boy, there's no stopping this guy.
Oh, yes. Where do you get that kazoo?
You know where I got this? I got it in Seattle.
Oh, you did?
I went to an outdoor concert with a band called Vaudeville Etiquette.
Yeah, you were talking about the other time.
Yeah, I forgot the name of the band, Vaudeville Etiquette. And they handed out the kazoo so we could sing along to their song.
Well, yeah, that sounds pretty cool. Hey, by the way, not that I never stopped doing this, but I was thinking about you last night. And it wasn't in the most uncomfortable position or in an inappropriate way. I was flipping through the channels, and they had this like thing on of like different Portlandia shows.
Oh,
because you were around that area where they shoot Portlandia.
I was in Portland.
Yeah,
I went to Voodoo Donuts.
Oh, yeah.
I went to Pal's Books. Now let me just read this.
Sure.
Hi, this is Joey from Weston Games.
Is that Weston Games? Okay, because I have to figure out where that web page is. So
Really thank you for your purchase. Your positive feedback, something express, would be greatly appreciated if our products and service can meet your requirements. Best regards. Yeah, this is a little bit of broken English here.
I think it's like from China or something. There was a replacement part for that case I have for that PlayStation over there. Now, that brings up an interesting question. I know you want to talk about politics, but when I mention China, guess what I'm thinking about? The neighbor.
The neighbor?
Around China. Korea. With the student.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what the whole situation with that is, Matt. I know you don't want to talk about politics, but that's kind of weird. Is it going to take the next president to get that guy out of there, that kid?
I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. Let's name another tune on the kazoo.
The Toonies.
Okay. You know what? That wasn't even. I was trying to say
In Between Days.
No, it was the same group. It was a different song by.
Show me, show me, show me
Yes.
how you do that kiss.
Wow, trick.
How
you do that kiss?
Well, I was
Security, get this guy out of here.
See, that's why women are afraid of me. No.
Okay. Hold on. Let me try another one. Are you ready?
Yeah. It is a Cure song. That is no. Is it In Between Days? No. It's right on the tip of my tongue. No tons. Boys Don't Cry.
Thank you.
Yes.
Very good, ladies and gentlemen. He really is a master of
masturbation.
Well, that I didn't want to say that, but you know what? It's funny. When I was in high school, I tried to start a debate team, a debate squad, but they didn't like what I wanted to call the debate team.
Masturbates?
The master debaters.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's nothing wrong with it. Actually, it was funny. This is actually funny, I think. But years ago, this was when I was at Methacton High School, and I went to that thing up. I was taking radio and TV repair. Well, those guys in there, they were joking about some guy named Master Bates, and it's like, who the hell are you talking about? Who's this Master Bates? And they're all laughing. I'm like clueless what they're laughing about, but they said, "Oh yeah, Master Bates," because I actually thought they were. I know. I thought they were talking about Psycho, and it's like, why are you guys talking about Psycho all the time?
Now, Walter, no offense, but are you sure you should have been in TV and radio repair? I see you more in toaster repair myself.
That would have probably been more appropriate. Yeah. No, I don't even know why I got stuck. Oh, I do.
I'm sorry, I couldn't help it.
No, but it's
what you do know why you got what stuck there. What do you mean?
Well, it was suggested that I should try to take something in the trade school up in Lansdale, and I wanted to go for computer repairs because I even knew back when I was in high school I loved computers. And they said, well, my math wasn't high enough. You needed a certain level of math. I think it was only just basically algebra. I didn't have that. So they suggested, well, radio and TV repair is, similar to electronics. It's like, yeah, it's electronics, but it's not computers. And I basically wasted 3 years of my last 3 years of school being in that what do you call it, trade school. It was a waste of time.
Well, why was it a waste of time?
Because I didn't learn anything. I just basically sat there after a while. It didn't interest me, and
so you weren't interested in
it. That was the main part of it. Yeah. So.
Okay. And to be computer had to be a little higher on the math.
Yeah, and it wasn't even that high. I mean, when I finally got to college, it only had taken me like 20 years. But I thought, thanks to Bonnie Nymphos, I actually finally passed an algebra class.
I think it's Nymphos.
Oh, Nymphos?
Yeah, not Nymphos.
Because that means she would be into some pretty exotic.
Well, I don't know. Hey, listen, I started watching that show Better Call Saul.
Do you like it?
It's all right. It's okay. my age and whatnot, I don't get crazy about any TV show anymore. But
Me neither.
But the guy, they I guess they sort of said it earlier, maybe even before. I don't know the timeline of it, but before Breaking Bad started, because in the first episode or two, I think it was the first one, at the very end, the guy, the lawyer, is trying to pull some scam, and he shows up at some house, and the guy that answers the door is that Tuco guy. Remember him? Now, he eventually got killed.
Yeah.
But, so I don't know when exactly. I think it was supposed to take place in, was it like early 2000s? I know the show wasn't on then, but like maybe somewhere around 2003, 2004, I think, was when it was supposed to start off.
Yeah, I watched like part of the first season. I know it's on Netflix. I think they're starting season 2 now.
Oh, so you did watch
part of it. I never finished it out. I know it's right now. I should because it's there.
Yeah, I didn't get all the way to the end of Breaking Bad. I was in there for a while. I don't know how many seasons were, like 10 seasons?
No, not. I don't think it was that long.
Seven,
maybe
something like that. I got a lot of them, but not.
It was really good. The only reason I got into it was you mentioned it. And I think Rush Limbaugh was really into it for a little bit there, and I started watching. I marathoned it. I did watch up to the to the end.
Yeah, I mean, it was good. It was good. I think it was oversold a little bit because I was talking to that guy Ed Rick, the drum teacher. He's the guy we ran into at the diner that one time.
Yeah.
And he was just like, oh, man, this show, Breaking Bad, it's like everything in it is just on such a higher level than every other show. The acting, the writing, it's just on like a higher level. I was expecting to see something I had never seen before, unlike anything else, and it was good.
Oh, yeah.
But, again, I think he oversold it. He made it, I bought the hype, and it was like, okay, it's really good. But anyway, you still haven't read anything yet.
I'm trying not to either. I mean,
come on, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Who's that French maid dusting the bookshelf?
That might be just a picture for later on if you get my drift. I think these are just pictures from... Oh.
What is going on there?
Oh,
no. I knew it. Alright, that's okay. Alright. Where'd you get these from?
It's just from like a web link. I found it. They find me. I forget. I think I found them on Facebook.
Charles Parks Photography.
Yeah.
All right.
Charles Parks Photography.
That reminds me. Now, descent-wise, right? You're not Irish, are you?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I know my mother's side of the family, I think where they really came from was a part of Europe that was between France and Germany.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I must be Irish in there because I look it. So
I was going to say, yeah, you have a little bit of a, I don't want to say Welsh, but a British look or whatever. Oh yeah. So you didn't celebrate St. Patrick's Day?
You know what?
Everybody under the sun does apparently, but
well, it's an excuse, I guess, to drink. And have a good time. But
that reminds me. I guess you can't drink as much because that alcohol. Well,
oh yeah, that's right. I'm supposed to be. I'm in the next phase of the program, which means I'm allowed to actually use cooking oil to make food.
Okay.
And there's more things I can eat, but it's still not do whatever you want. It's no starches or sugars.
Yeah.
And truthfully, I can have a heck of a lot more calories. See, here's the thing. I before I was supposed to have 700 calories a day, which is what we called almost a starvation diet.
I was going to say.
So now I have 2,400. So it's like, over 3 times more.
Yeah.
But I haven't done a good job. I've only been on it since Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of this week, and I haven't done a good job of really counting the calories. So I'm just sort of winging it. And, like you're supposed to have what they call good fats, which are like certain nuts like almonds, walnuts are the best, cashews and peanuts, almond butter rather than peanut butter if you can help it, but good fats like that you can do. So I have been eating that a little bit, but for all I know, I'm going over the calorie limit. Like today, for example. Well, today, take this for example. I ate a bag of steam in the bag Brussels sprouts, and it was like it was good. It wasn't that much, but it was like technically what was in the bag was like 3.5 servings. I ate the whole thing, but it was only 45 calories per serving. So that whole thing, that whole thing was 157 calories.
That's not bad at all.
Out of 2,400, that's not bad. But here's the thing: I bought a piece of salmon that was a pound, and I ate the whole thing. Oh. So I don't know, like, how many calories is a pound of salmon. Now it's it's probably fewer. If it's fish, so it's probably fewer calories than a pound of pork or beef. But like me eating the whole thing because I don't have anybody to share it with. It's just me, and it's almost easier just to eat it and get rid of it rather than like, what am I going to do? Cut it in half?
It's going to go bad too.
That's the other thing too. Is So I don't know. Actually, can you look that up? How much is how many calories are in tuna per pound? You look that up while I sing a song on the kazoo.
Oh, that sounds good.
No, maybe I could do the theme from Jeopardy.
Oh.
I'm like so out of tune. It's terrible.
Your tunies are off.
Calories in 1 pound. No, I don't want tuna. I want. No, why'd you say tuna? Salmon.
I thought you said something.
Did I say tuna?
No, I have tuna on the brain. That's another
You have
thing.
tuna on the brain?
I have tuna on the brain. I have other things on the brain. Not much. Now, that's another thing.
Salmon. Salmon. Type it in. No, not salsum. What do you? Salmon. What do you? No, not salmon.
That's your what? Salmon?
944 calories per pound. Okay, well,
it's not bad, right?
It's not that bad.
No. Now, here's a question, though. You said that your ideal weight should be 208 or something.
200.
200, and you're like
6'2".
6'2". I'm only 5'5", 5'6".
Right.
And I weigh like 174, 170. So that's not much of a difference.
It's 25 pounds.
But still,
look up ideal weight, and then type in like 5'6".
Ideal or idea? No, I'm just kidding.
Very good. In this case, ideal.
Okay.
Yeah, except you want to say 5'6" male.
No, I'm female. No.
I'll tell you, if I was a female, I'd never leave the house.
Me
I don't know what that means.
If I was hermaphrodite, I would definitely not. Never.
Okay, well, guess what?
Fatso.
Your ideal weight is, I hate to tell you, you're looking at 128 pounds.
Yeah, that's hard to reach, though.
It would be.
Yeah.
But that's what it says.
Yeah.
Type change 5'6" to 6'2", male.
They'd probably say 102 pounds now.
Probably just going to be like 190, 195.
Yeah, see, that's unrealistic, though. In my opinion. I know.
Yeah, see.
I mean, I'm sorry. You would look like...
emaciated almost.
Yes.
Well, I have seen pictures in like the press, like where they'll show somebody and they'll go, according to some standard, this person is overweight, and you look at them and they're like thin, and you're like, what the hell?
Yeah. I don't know why they do that.
Well, look, if I could get to one. Well, it also depends, like if you're like thin boned, medium boned, and big boned, and I'm like medium. So
Yeah,
I guess I would be somewhere in that middle range.
Well, here's a good question, Matt, for you. When you were like in your early 20s and stuff, how much did you weigh then? 18, 20, 19, 20?
I don't know, 185, something like that.
Oh, you did? So
somewhere around there.
Wow, that is really skinny. And your height hasn't changed much, has it?
No. Anyway, we got to find a story for you to read.
Well,
what about like a local paper? Could we look up something on Times Herald or the Phoenixville News or something like that?
I can do that. I'll take a real quick look, too, because sometimes they do pop up. I have those all in, what do you call it, this, what do you call it here? I mean, that's how generally I get stories, too. Or not. Sorry.
Can you go to Dreamin' Demon or something? I don't think
I
you're going to
could
find anything just by going down your Facebook.
Actually, most of the times it does work, but yeah, obviously tonight it's being stubborn. Dream. I'll just misspell it. Not that I ever misspell anything. Should set me right. Now, with those stories, they're a little bit off the wall, but that's what I like about them.
Okay.
I mean, because I might have read somebody's boy for with the.
I mean, I'm just looking for something for you to read. I don't particularly like reading these examples of human depravity and irresponsibility. But what about customer fatally shoots hatchet-wielding attacker inside Washington 7-Eleven?
Could do that one. Now, this one I read the other day, this one was just really bizarre, too. The guy decapitates his girlfriend.
Well, then let's read one you haven't done.
Oh, well, that would be.
How about the 7-Eleven one?
If you insist.
I do insist.
Well, I don't know if I agree or disagree. Now, right off the bat, I don't even know how to pronounce that name.
I've been to Washington. I don't know what that is. Looks like it's Burien.
See?
Keep going. So in Burien, Washington, go.
A 7-Eleven customer with a concealed weapon permit shot and killed a hatchet-wielding man. Wielding man attacking a store clerk Sunday morning.
Well, this is good. Somebody with a permit to carry killed somebody who was trying to attack somebody with a hatchet.
That's true. Yeah. You know what? Did I tell you? Speaking about this, now this is going to be kind of pertaining to this, by the way, but I had all these. They're called SOPs, standard operating procedure, whatever, paperwork. You get them out of all your jobs, things you need to learn. Well, I know when we're dealing with active shooter on the premises or something. That was pretty scary. Like, I got to be worried now. No matter where you go, I mean, it's become such a problem.
Well, I don't. Yeah, but it's not like this just happened in the last couple of years. But it does seem like I'd be interested in the real statistics because yes, it does seem like it's a lot more commonplace.
Oh yeah.
But what you'd have to go to the FBI to say, okay, how many workplace shootings happened this year, last year, year before that, and so on, and just compare them over the last 20, 30, 40 years.
Well, they're probably on my phone, but I took snapshots of what I was doing. I'm gonna look.
That's not important. Good.
Yeah.
Keep reading the story.
Alrighty. It says no.
Early Sunday morning.
Yeah, it would be last Sunday, I guess. Probably.
It doesn't matter. Just read the story.
It doesn't matter. Early Sunday morning, an unidentified man walked into a 7-Eleven wearing a mask and a wielding again.
A hatchet. Yeah, it's almost like well, no, he had a machete. It's almost like Friday the 13th. Anyway, keep going.
See, that part's cool then. I'm just kidding. He reportedly said nothing to the clerk behind the counter or the customers in the store when he began swinging his weapon. And then it says in a quote, what everybody says is that he didn't say anything. He just walked into the store. He had a hatchet and started attacking people, King County PIO Cindy West said.
I think it's P/O, isn't it?
Is that what it is? Because it looks like an I. Maybe you're right. Yeah, you're right. PI.
Police officer.
Oh, that would make sense.
I think.
No, you're right. That does make sense.
The man first swung the hatchet. Go ahead.
The man first swung the hatchet at a customer before going behind the counter and attacking a 58-year-old convenience store employee. What the attacker probably did not expect was that one of the customers in the store is a regular and he has a permit to carry a concealed weapon. It then states that the 60-year-old man who comes to the store every morning to get coffee and talk with the employees pulled out a handgun and shot the man as he was attacking the employee. Emergency workers were unable to save the man's life, and he was pronounced dead at the scene. So was that the employee who got killed anyway, or was this the person with the hatchet?
Read that again and you tell me.
Okay.
This is testing your reading comprehension. Go ahead.
Testicle in my reading comprehension.
Read it again.
The 60-year-old man, I'm sorry, I'm thinking about something now, who comes to the store every morning to get coffee and talk with the employees, pulled out a handgun, and he shot the man as he was attacking the employee. Or I said the emergency workers were unable to save the man's life, and he was pronounced dead on the scene, at the scene. I'm still thinking about that.
Read the headline.
Okay. Customer fatally shoots hatchet-wielding attacker inside Washington 7-Eleven.
So what does that tell you?
Well, I would assume the guy with the gun was the one who did not get killed or died, but I would assume the person with the hatchet probably who...
Yes, customer fatally shoots, fatally meaning to death.
Does that mean he's okay? No. I'm sorry. I can't help
Security, get him out of here!
it. Get out of here.
Get out of here!
I'm sorry. I'm still laughing about something. This is probably...
Oh, you're not getting off the hook here. You're going to keep reading more.
No, I know. It's one of these What is it?
TMZ?
TMZ. No, well, too much information.
TMI.
But my mother told me something about my dad today. It was funny.
Don't tell me now.
Okay.
I want you to keep reading. Aside from the dead man...
There was Walter.
Okay, read it. Go ahead.
Aside from the dead man... hey, Sonny boy, did you get any of those magazines with the women with the big titties? They make me laugh.
All right, read this thing, will you?
Did I ever tell you about my Uncle Walter?
No.
Oh, fine. Aside from the dead man and the clerk who suffered, I was ready to say stuffed, who suffered from minor slashes to his stomach, no one else at the store was injured. The clerk was the clerk called the customer a very nice guy who, he says, saved his life. So let me guess who died now. Get out of here.
Keep going. As for the Good Samaritan,
he was too shaken to speak to the reporters. No charges are expected to be filed. Thank you. In the shooting, but the case will be forwarded to the King County Prosecutor's Office for review. There seems to be another quote that says, had this customer not shot, who knows what would have happened. We might have a dead clerk right now, and instead we have a dead bad guy. And West, said West. I apologize. We do not see any wrongdoing on the part of the customer. Charge.
So there you go. An armed good guy. Now,
Yeah.
if he hadn't had a gun, then some people could have been really hurt by the hatchet.
That's true. Now,
let's read another one.
Oh, now that kind of gets me, because you obviously listened to my show yesterday when I ran that soundbite with Rush. Was more than a soundbite, was half a show, but about where that woman was defending her home.
Yeah,
and she shoots somebody, but yet it's her fault according to the aunt of this kid.
Well, of course, yeah. I mean, but you'd expect the family. It'd be, unfortunately, it'd be pretty rare for a family member of the kid that got killed to say, "Yep, he deserved it." I mean, even if he did, you know.
Well, I mean, it's nice that this story actually does, state that the bad person is the bad guy, instead of like, well, the bad guy was actually...
Well, I think the real point of that, if I remember correctly, was the idea of trying to explain it to say, well, how else is he supposed to get money? He's from the hood. He has to steal it.
Yeah, I know. And I agree with Rush and everything, and it was like, yeah, that's just ridiculous.
Let's try another story, but not any, like, I'm tired of, like, the weird sex stuff and had sex with this ex-girlfriend's skull or any of this nonsense.
What's wrong with that?
Let's try something else here. Escaped murder suspect shot to death by one of his Oh, there you go. Read that.
Really?
Yeah.
What about that? Oh. Well, is that Vicksburg?
Yeah, Vicksburg, no, not Massachusetts. Mississippi.
Oh, Mississippi. Okay.
Mississippi.
Ooh. Ooh.
All right, you're on. Go.
It's Kazoo Vader.
Kazoo Vader. Wait a minute.
That ain't no good idea.
Anyway, go ahead. Read the story.
Hey, how you do that, baby?
Daddy, get this guy out of here. Out of here.
Out of here! Out of here!
That's. Can you roll your R's, by the way?
R's. No, unfortunately, I can't.
All right, keep going.
I'm fired. It states a murder suspect who escaped from Mississippi jail last week was shot to death Monday by one of the people he was had taken hostage. I'm sorry. Now I'm thinking about, I can't help this, but I'm thinking about...
What movie or TV show?
No, actually, I'm thinking about Hillary Clinton when Rush bust on her, when she goes to different...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it depends on what the ergonomics is, what ethnicity people are.
Oh, by the way, it's ethnicity.
Ethnicity.
Yeah, not authenticity.
Ethnicity.
And I don't think you mean ergonomics, you demographics.
Thank you.
Okay.
So the demographics and stuff. That,
yeah, she adopts she suddenly sounds like a black woman from the South.
Yeah, I mean, that's just, I don't know, it's not funny. I don't even know how this woman's getting any votes.
It is funny, but it does show you that if you tell people what they want to hear, then, especially if they think they're going to benefit from it, which they won't, but they'll overlook it, I think, in a lot of cases. Well, although not always. Well, I don't know. Because remember, John Kerry in 2004 tried to say, well, Bill Clinton was the first black president. I'd like to be the second black president. And that didn't fly. He was like, you don't even know about being a poor white guy versus being a poor black guy, so forget about it. So
that's true. Well, not that I want to go into this, but how in the hell is this woman getting any votes when she's got over her shoulder, whatever you want to call it? She's got the problem with Benghazi. Then she has the problem with those emails,
because the Democrat voters don't care about that. What they're motivated by is that they hate the other side, so therefore anything else doesn't matter. Plus, some of them think they're going to get something out of it, like, more money from other people transferred to them. And they care more about sort of like a celebrity or her being an icon than, and they were probably also fooled by her husband too.
Yeah.
So that would be why. But let's read this story. Go ahead.
Fine. Should I start it over, I guess?
No, start from Raphael McLeod.
Oh, good. Thank God you're here, because I wouldn't be able to pronounce that.
Well, that's just Raphael. You can say that. And McLeod, from Gavin McLeod. Anyway, keep going.
Oh. Actually made me think of something else now.
Don't.
Oh, fine. Well, my mind just, I know it races. Gavin McLeod, 33, escaped from the Warren County Jail, where he was awaiting trial for the kidnap, rape, and murder of a 69-year-old Sharon Wilson. Wilson's body was found outside an abandoned hospital last year after a group of ghost hunters, followed a blood trail out of the building. McLeod was quickly arrested after he was found driving Wilson's car. You know what that kind of reminds me is that scene from Halloween when Michael Myers steals the car, smashing the window.
Keep going.
I know, my mind goes. He's been in jail awaiting his trial ever since, until March 2nd, when he escaped his cell by taking a jail guard hostage with a homemade shank. I don't know what that is.
It's like when you make like a knife out of something, some sharp object.
Oh, okay. I don't know how he was able to do that, but he did. Shank and forced the guard to give him his clothes. McLeod was able to escape the building, and police have been scouring the area looking for
Scouring.
him. I thought that was scouring, but I didn't want to get it wrong, which I did.
Get him out of here. No, right,
yeah, get out of here. Scouring, looking for him. They used a scouring powder on him. It took a week, but police finally found McLeod shot to death in his family's bathtub. Get out of here. At around 4:30 a.m. Thursday, a man went out to his garage to start his wife's car and encountered McLeod. The man and his wife, wife and McLeod got into a physical confrontation, but McLeod was able to subdue the couple and tie them up. Oh, sorry. Get out of here. 3 hours later, wow, that was long, the man was able to get free and locate his gun, and then he used it to fatally shoot McLeod. Gavin McLeod.
So if McLeod was fatally shot, did he survive?
I would say, if I was a Democrat, I'd say, yes, he did survive. Now, I'm kidding. I don't know. It makes no sense. I know.
So let me ask again. So if McLeod was fatally shot,
I will neither confirm or deny it at this time.
I'm going to keep asking. Third time. If McLeod was fatally shot, that means...
No, the third time's a charm. Yes, he did die.
Good.
Yes.
Thank you.
Did I give you Oh, cool. Did I give you enough hard enough time on that?
Yes. Keep going, please.
Oh, wait, you have to do that now. Yes.
Yes, well, I just want to say it's an honor to be here, actually. It's really delightful to be on your program. At any rate, please continue with the story.
Yes. It was the most... whatever you've ever encountered or whatever.
Yeah, baby! Wait a minute. It was the most whatever?
Yeah, no, it is... no, I kind of threw that in there. This is certainly not what we wanted this way we wanted this, how we wanted this to end. Yeah, sure, because it was in quotes. I really fucked that up. I know. Whoops. Wah, 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 wah. Said Warren County Sheriff Martin Pace. Quote again, our goal was to take him back into custody and have him stand before the jury in Warren County. But he was brought this upon himself.
Court records show McLeod has prior convictions for auto burglary, grand larceny, and armed robbery. Looks to me as if the homeowner should get a medal.
Yes.
Back to you.
Well, he's guilty.
All right. You okay there?
Oh, yeah, I'm just moving my chair. I'm moving my ass, yo.
All right. Well,
I could go... Well, these are stories.
You sure you don't want to look for something on a local newspaper like Times Herald?
I could do that, or I could do the Times Herald or Norristown Patch.
What is the Norristown Patch?
Yeah.
I don't know that paper.
Oh, yeah. Well, actually, Times Herald actually gets some of their information, I think. Same news, almost.
Oh.
Oh, excuse me. Oh, you know what? Are we supposed to get snow tonight?
I don't know. I know today is Slurpee Day, right?
Oh, I didn't even know that. No, there was something, Crazy March, Crazy Walter, something about possibly 3 inches of snow, between.
Why do you call it Crazy March?
March is interesting. It's like the transition, because spring's going to be this weekend, too, the first day of spring.
But I don't know. Listen, I'm sure there's a history of unusual weather in March, whether it be too warm or too cold, but... Are you trying to say the phrase March Madness?
My mother always calls it Crazy March. See, it says there Crazy March. But maybe you actually...
Where does it say that? But what is that? Crazy March, the podcast?
That I don't know. I just know my mother uses that phrase. For years, that's where I got it from was, Crazy March. But there's a thing about...
But I've never heard that. I've heard... No, I've heard March Madness, which has something to do with college basketball, I think, but I don't know.
Oh. Well, we referred to, I don't know where she got it from then, my mother, but it was just because the weather's pretty much, it could be sunny one day and really warm, the next day it could be really cold, it could be snow one day and rain
I gotta
the next.
say, I totally missed that little phrase or, I don't know what the word is, that little euphemism or whatever for March.
I honestly, I wouldn't know where else she got it. I just am so used to hearing it every year from my parents, my mother.
I'm going to ask other people if they say that. I mean, it would be, somebody of their generation probably.
Yeah. Maybe.
So
See, this is the Norristown patch. There's a Lansdale patch. There's a patch for everywhere.
okay.
And I could just go directly if you want me to. And Mercury, I think Mercury paper, they actually have some news. I think that's
Where is that? Like Lansdale-ish, something like that, or
maybe. No.
Well, you misspelled Mercury. You typed in Mercy.
Oh, like Sisters of Mercy.
You need A-E-R-C-U or boy.
I'm sorry, Kazoo Vader. What was that again? No.
You need Janus or boy, yes, sir.
Are you my father?
Mercedes-Benz. M-E-R-C-U-R. Why?
Why? Because
we like you.
Yeah, exactly.
M-I-C-K-E-Y-M-O-U-S-E. Oh, excuse me. Sorry about that.
Oh, yes.
San Jose Mercury. Do you
That's
know
not
the way to San Jose?
Tried everything under the sun. Under the sun.
Oh, it's Pottstown is what it is.
Oh, it's Pottstown. Oh.
I think.
You're right. Pottstown Mercury. But it does say Mercury. Pottsgrove. Oh. Ow.
Well, we got Pottstown, we got Pottsgrove, and we got Pottsville, Pennsylvania.
Well, that's true, too.
I don't know how close they all are to each other.
No.
Horse pelted with paintballs loses eye.
That one's been going for a while. Now, this one caught my attention right away. Pennsylvania's jobless rate holds a steady 4.6%, if you believe that, though. But I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I can go with the horsey one if you want me to, but I probably wrote that.
Now, let's do Norristown man admits to DUI hit and run crash in White Marsh.
That's a good one. I did see that yesterday. I don't know if I read it, but I know I saw it yesterday.
All right, go ahead. Start from the...
But that's small. Excuse me?
How many times have I heard that?
Oh, yeah.
No, but in all seriousness, folks, Norristown. A Norristown man has admitted to driving drunk during a hit-and-run crash in White Marsh that injured two others.
Walter?
James Watson, 38, of the 600 block of Roberts Lane, pleaded guilty in Montgomery County Court on Friday. I'm going to read the rest of the story like this. Ready?
Yeah.
This
actually sounds pretty good that way.
Thanks.
Probably high in
starch or something like that. I don't know.
Well,
anyway.
They're good.
You know what?
I'm eating some chips right now.
Thank you for that.
Mm-hmm.
Eating some chips.
Apple chips.
Some chips.
Want a chip?
Let's do a different story.
Okay. As Walter rudely stuffs his mouth with food in front of Matt.
All right, what else we got here? We got Springford area high school host chopped compet. I don't know what that is.
What's this about Paris? Attack, fugitive, whatever.
Yeah, one of the...
Oui, monsieur? There's some soldiers attacking some peeps. Peeps!
I want to send this out to my peeps.
Yeah, yo. What's up? What's fresh?
All right, how about... Well, read the bit about the jobless rate being 4.6%.
I kind of find that hard to believe, but...
Maybe.
Well, that one says Pennsylvania's jobless rate holds a steady 4.6 because everybody's working at McDonald's and Burger King's at $15 an hour.
And have 2 or 3 part-time jobs.
But that's besides the point, too, of course.
Read the story. Go ahead.
Yes. It says in Philadelphia, it says Philadelphia, Pennsylvania's unemployment rate is holding a steady 4.6%. The state labor department reported on Friday no change in the rate since September to February. It is at the lowest level since September 2007. I'm sorry, I just can't believe that.
Wait a minute.
What?
You just said September when the word is January.
Oh, sorry about that.
How did you? Now that's interesting. How did you do that?
I neither can confirm it or deny it at this time.
No, seriously, that's weird, isn't it?
That is kind of weird. Yeah.
Like, I mean, I could see, like, mispronouncing wielding or scouring a little bit, but it says January. You said September. Now, later, the next sentence has September in it. Did you look at that first or something?
You know what? I don't know. That's good. Yeah, that's probably part of my comprehension problem, I guess.
Huh.
It is weird. I didn't even know I did it, actually.
Yeah.
And they want to give me all the paperwork to read and do all this.
Keep reading.
Keep on reading them. I'll actually try to do that again. The State Labor Department, and rereading it, reported Friday no change in the rate from January to February. It is at the lowest level since September 2007. So, yeah, that is kind of weird how I did that. Total non-farm jobs last month increased over 21,000 to a record high of 5.86 million in February. Labor officials say the largest gain was in education and health services, up over 12,000 due to mostly to education services.
What does that mean, education services? What is that?
That, to me, you got me on that one. You stumped the joke, man. Because I honestly I wouldn't know. So this is the biggest drop was in the biggest drop was in masturbation. No, the biggest drop was in manufacturing, following 3 consecutive gains. That was an easy, simple one. Yeah, I'm sorry. I just am very pessimistic. I'm pessimistic. I don't believe these figures on what they're.
Well, as Peter Schiff says, if things are so great with the economy, why are Donald Trump and Bernie Sanders so popular when they're talking about the economy more than anything else, right? If the economy was so great, wouldn't they not be that popular?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, they wouldn't be if that was the case. You know, I kind of have a question about, because I think I mentioned this yesterday. I can't remember, but if I read this correctly, and I can't remember I saw the source from anymore, but it looked like a lot of jobs from our lovely, the West Coast, the left coast, California, all these jobs now that these companies are now forced to pay for these minimum wage jobs of $15 an hour.
You did the Carl's Jr. thing. Yeah. When I was out in California, I went to a Carl's Jr. because it was on the same street as that guy, Jason Cantor. Remember him, where he was living then at the time. Mm-hmm. And when he was giving me directions on how to get to his place, he mentioned him. Yeah, I think it's kind of a West Coast thing. It's like a Hardee's or something out there on the West Coast.
Yeah. Now, but it looks like a lot of these places are going to either put
relocate
business
wherever they pay taxes to somewhere like Texas or Oklahoma, where it's low taxes. And also, it sounds like they really are going ahead, like we said before, based on the story that you read about automation, where you're going to go into Carl's Jr. or one of these places and you're going to put in your order yourself for what you want to eat without talking to somebody at the cash register with their little microphone. And I mean, I guess somebody has to make the food, although I guess they'll get away with a lot fewer people working there.
Oh, absolutely. It's funny, actually. I mean, this is a lot different probably, but when I went over to Acme tonight, where do people want to get checked out? They want to check themselves out.
Oh, yeah, I definitely do that.
Oh, yeah, and I think they're going to slowly, obviously, replace tellers and stuff by doing that.
Yeah. The only thing about that is
trust and people are bringing everything out.
Well, the people that buy, when I check out at the self-checkout, I got 3 things maybe.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4 things. The people that have 1 million things that are shopping for the whole week, you don't want them at the self-checkout because you're going to be waiting there forever.
That's true, but that particular place where it may be, if it's not Acme, you might have less checkers though, or tellers eventually, and be replaced with just one person, and put more of these automated machines in. Is my guess though. I mean, right now it's not that many, and it's a pain when you have somebody who's, buying a week's worth of food, a couple $100. Yes.
It's a big goal. Yes, thank you very much. Okay, so I don't know what else. I mean, how long? What time do we got on our computer there?
I don't know if I'm looking at this correctly because I think you showed me how to read this, but it looks like an hour and 32 minutes at this point. An hour and 33.
Let me
entertain me.
Could you just hold on? Wait. Where's the? Okay, hold on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's pretty good so far. I mean, if you want to end it now, or if you want, I'm going to look for a couple more stories. Yeah, sure.
No, I guess we could stop. Obviously, we should get out of the house for a bit, but I don't know where to go because I can't really
eat anything or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I could eat like a salad with nothing on it. I guess we could do that. I don't know. Where can we go?
The only place that is low in calories and I don't like
is what?
Those strip joints.
Oh, well, no, it's not low in calories because you have to drink something there.
Yeah, you got me there, though.
And
I don't drink, though, so and I don't like them either. But.
I'd have to go there and get water.
Yeah.
All right, well, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
So should we sign off?
If you like me to, I can sign off.
All right, let me sign off first. You ready?
Yeah.
I can't. Thank you.
Oh. Alrighty. So thank you once again, Matt. That was Matt. Well, I can't say. Music teacher guy would be the best way to put it, because I think you would like that. Yes. That was Matt, and thank you very much. And I'm doing a little
baby!
I'm doing a little bit better job of signing off now, because before I would say, I'm signing off and get other people listen who don't listen, which makes no sense.
You would say, if you don't listen, you would say, if you listen to my show, thank you, and if you don't listen, try to get other people to listen.
Which actually obviously makes no sense.
That's okay.
Yeah, that's nothing new for me. So, I do appreciate this. Who knows if I can get Matt convinced? Maybe we can do this on a weekend basis kind of thing, just to touch base. See what our progress report's doing. It's better than just listening to me all the time, obviously, and messing up stories. Like even yesterday, I know I messed up quite a bit on stuff I read, but after that crash of my computer, so to speak, on that software program, it was just not fun. Actually, real quick, I used to use, which was probably a little bit better, was the Apple program and GarageBands, which you now have to pay for. But now that was the thing I have to tell Matt. With Audacity, though, it's actually better for that. What do you call that thing? It's like not an amp. It's yeah.
Interface.
The interface actually works a lot better because that's what somebody recommended, was that particular interface, the exact same one, and Audacity, which is open source. It's free for people to download. So anyway, and it was an interesting show for everybody, I hope. I know for me it definitely was. I'll be listening to this tomorrow myself at least 30 or 40 times. Matt's always a very good guest to have on, really well-spoken. And folks...
Well, I'm afraid I'm going to have to agree with that.
Oh, yeah. Yes, I agree with it, too. And I want people to know, though, that, hey, again, Matt you can look him up online for Music Teacher Guy, if I got that correctly. He's got a couple different links. I did try to post them last time. I have to see. I think he got 2 or 3 different sites. He was going to try. It's not taking off too much, but you also have... If you can't, like Matt or come out, or one of his other music teachers will come out to your house for half-hour lessons, and you can look up the prices or at least negotiate that with Matt. It's a flat rate. It's nothing that expensive. And, hey, if you have a couple people like your kids or something, you want to get them in there too, that's great. Family members. They come to your house, but if that's too far or too difficult for you, Matt actually does do what is... I think I don't want to say YouTube. It's, what is it exactly that thing that they actually can do it on the computer?
Skype?
Skyping, yeah. You could actually do it as a Skype lesson, which is, the price might be not much different, but at least, hey, it's at your house. So that's always really nice. Matt does, I guess, like most of your keys, I guess. Piano. strings.
Wrap it up.
Wrap it up. He does wrap it up.
No, guitar, piano, bass, drums for the most part. But anyway, okay, let's wrap this up.
Okay, I'm so sorry about that, but again, I appreciate having Matt, music teacher, on again, right? Music teacher guy again. So everyone, thanks for tuning in if you are listening to me. And if you like what you hear, go check out musicteacherguy.com.
And if you like what you hear, have your head examined. No, I'm just kidding.
If you like what you hear, I try to get other people listen. Hey, the more I can get, the more the merrier. The more I can masturbate. No, but anyway, I appreciate it. This is Walter and Mr. Matt from Music Teachers Guy. And we want to both thank you for listening to our show. And please listen. Well, tune in again when I'm back again. I screwed up. So again, this is Walter from iWalter and Matt from Music Teacher Guy. Thanks again, folks. I am signing off. We are signing off right now.